Did my grandfather know that I was a stripper? Well, he didn't bring to my attention that he knew that I was in the club taking my clothes off for money, no matter how many dollar bills I put in the offering tray.
I believe what I said.
My grandfather really influenced me. He was a pastor with a nice solid fist. He didn't play religious games with people. He did believe in turning the other cheek, but he wasn't no punk. And I appreciate that about him. I was able to see him stand up for people who couldn't stand up for themselves. He was a very big advocate for helping fatherless women who didn't have the husbands, and at his own expense. He had property. He would let people stay for a year or two for free just until they can get on their feet. These are the things that he did, and I saw that that was where I came from. And before he passed away, he was about to go into hospice, and he said, take care of my family. And I'm like, all right, I'm 28. And he never did explain what that meant to take care of my family, but it was what it was. The call still remained. And so 10 years later, I'm still figuring it out and doing my best to serve and give and be a man's man and protect those who can't protect themselves, be a voice for those who feel like they've lost their place. So my grandfather, you say, who is he? He's me. Did my grandfather know that I was a stripper? He probably did. Well, he didn't bring to my attention that he knew that I was in the club taking my clothes off for money, no matter how many dollar bills I put in the offering tray. I think a lot of people knew, but money coming in, people don't ask questions. They're just grateful. And I remember sometimes getting up in the morning, getting ready for church and finding dollar bills still in very weird places. I remember going to church and having my money set aside, like still got glitter on it, still got kisses and phone numbers on it. I just, stack it up. If I made about, 800 or so that night, tithes is how much? $80. So I just get 80 singles, maybe add a little bit extra for offering. I would stuff it to capacity. I didn't even think about how this would look. I probably still operate in that same vein. Like, oh, this looks bad. I put all these singles in whatever envelope they would fit. Wasn't an envelope, I just take them with a rubber band around them and just put them in the basket. They saw these wads of money coming in on a weekly basis, and they were always so excited to see it coming in because the church needed money. They would look forward to it. And again, they wouldn't ask any questions because they needed the money to keep the doors open, to pay the bills. They were grateful however it came in. I never thought twice about it was my income, it was my increase, no matter how I made it. And I knew that God was entitled and asked me to bring in 1/10 of it. Yeah. Was there ever a point where I felt guilty or like putting stripper money in the offering basket wasn't right? That thought never crossed my mind. I never was guilty or felt shame. I was pretty proud of myself. I was part of the church family, like the first family. I kind of knew about the finances of the church, and I knew how many people didn't give. And I was like, at least I'm giving. So no, I never felt any guilt, any shame about giving dollar bills. It was going towards the Lord's work, and I just happened to be a trash man at the time. So my grandfather didn't know I was stripping, but he knew I was tripping. Yeah. I remember one day I went to my mom's job to ask for some help, and I remember he showed up. I think the relationship at that point was kind of strained because I was at the club, and it was just like, I got things to do, old man. That genuine love and awareness for who he really was wasn't clear in my mind at that point. My mom walked away to the back to go get something, and he looked at me, and he said, I would help you if you stop acting like an asshole. I said, no, you didn't. I was offended that my grandfather called me an asshole, but I had been called an asshole so much that I was kind of flattered, like, you're a jerk. And I'm like, I probably am. I'm like, well, I probably got it from you anyway. I didn't say that, but I remember being super dramatic. And after it was over, I told my mom, like, he called me an asshole. I can't believe he called you an asshole. Later on, I'm like, I was definitely an asshole. He called me out. He knew something was wrong with me. Something wasn't right because I'm his blood, and he could tell.